I mean, it's just y'all when you do that.
It's all it is anyway. Literally, when we come over in this building, whether you're a player or a coach, it's, to me, I've been here 5 years now, and it's like this week has been no different as far as business as usual as it was the week 2 when we played Southern Miss or whoever it was back then. We're such creatures of habit, and hey, this is our routine. This is what we do on Monday. This is what we do on Tuesday. And I think our players are trained that way, and so it's just business as usual.
So I'm going to ask a football question. Yeah. So their defensive front, Beckner and Logan, I think Logan has come back. Have you seen some energy from those guys?
No doubt, yeah. When they really, when they're healthy and they cut it loose, they're quick, they're active, they're powerful. They've done a really good job with their D-line over the last several years, and they've had some really good players, some good draft picks, and they certainly got some other guys that are on that line that will play in the NFL. But yeah, a good challenge for us, without question. Good quickness at the ends, big interior players, and they're playing with a lot of good mojo right now. They're playing hard and really gelling at the right time.
What's the senior class meant to this program?
Well, it's hard to. I don't know. It's I was sitting here just in the room right here, and I see Bijan and Kevin, and Austin, and I see guys that was a part of our first recruiting class, and it's hard to imagine how fast it's gone by. And a guy like Bijan and a guy like Austin and Kevin, and there's others. They're the heart and soul of every program. Seniors are, and those guys have all given themselves. To this program, and have been relentless in their approach to practices and school, and they just typify what you would want in a senior football player. And so we're real proud of the majority of those guys, or most all those guys. I'm just talking about in particular the guys that I've connected with here in this room. That we were a part of their recruiting. But I'm looking at Bijan and Kevin, and those are guys everything you want in football players.
What's the message been to recruits given the circumstances, a lot going on?
Well, that's a good question. It's I don't think you I don't think you can be an ostrich about it, and just say listen, it's been this year hasn't gone as well as we would want it to go. There's nobody that wanted to go better than what the coaches and players did. It hasn't, but you guys, the guys that are committed or whatever, you guys committed and chose to come here for this program, and because you think you can make a difference here, and just continue to connect with them and build relationships with them, and those guys have done a great job of being strong and just steady, and we're asking them to kind of approach it the way we do a little bit, is just kind of put blinders on and keep your head down and go to work and keep swinging, and just control the things you can control.
The way Missouri's been scoring, does it come into your game plan that we've got to have a high percentage of successful scoring drives?
Well, I don't know if we set – yes, on the fundamental baseline level, absolutely. As you know, the offense's job is to score one more point than the opponent, and we're obviously playing a very potent, hot offense right now, and so we know we're going to have to bring our A game. So whatever the score, you never know how it's going to unfold the game. You just don't. Each game's quirky, Last week's game unfolded in a different manner that you would anticipate it unfolding. Our defense fought, scrapped, and we got some good breaks and some bounces, and it was a low-scoring game, And so, but yes, we need to hold on the ball. That's our formula. Our formula when we win football games here has been we run the ball effectively and keep the ball out of those types of players, those types of teams' hands for a significant amount of time. And so, yeah, that'll be a big part of our attempt on Friday.
How did Jonathan Nance look today? Has he got a chance?
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I think we're a little ways away there. So, yeah, I don't know. I think there's probably a chance, as there always is. The last few days of the week, each guy that adrenaline starts pumping a little bit more, and they get closer and closer. So we're holding out hope that he would be ready to play in some way, shape, or form and get back on Friday.
When you look back 1 year ago, it was the second half of this game that kind of touched off this thing about second halves. I know y'all haven't exactly been able to right the ship on that, but what do you Do you think that was maybe the start of it all?
Well, I'm certainly not trying to underplay that or whatever, but there's, there's a certain sense of hyperbole there, that's a little bit. Look at the Ole Miss game last year. We played really well in the Florida game last year up until that point. But from that point on, this year, we played a couple of good second halves. But, it's been talked about a lot, And I'm going to tell you this. We have certainly made a big, huge point of emphasis on our staff and our players. And, and so, that kind of unfolded in that game last year. It was unfortunate how it did. And you know what, that's not to brush it off or whatever, that's football a little bit, and things like that happen, but what do you do? You go to try to address it and try to fix it the best you can, and we've certainly spent a significant amount of time emphasizing those types of things, and we've had some success, on the back end of that. So we got to play a four-quarter game. Whether we start fast, we got to finish strong, or if we start slow and finish strong, it's not good enough. We need four quarters of good football to go beat a good football team.
Will Gragg's earned his opportunities to get back in there. What has he done to get that spot?
Well, I think he's just taken advantage of some opportunities that he's gotten and capitalized on them when the games presented themselves, and just made a play. That's what we ask our guys to do. You get a chance to make a play, make the play, and he's done a good job of making the play when he's had those opportunities in games, and so some other guys too. And so hopefully we can get all of them to contribute in a positive way on Saturday.
You've had like 8 years of the Allens.
Yeah.
What's it been? Yeah, it's been like 8 or 9. What's it been like? What's it been like this week, knowing that the era of Allen is coming to an end?
Well, I don't know. I always try to look through the lens of a little bit through Coach Allen, through Bobby, their dad, who's been here for I think 20 years now, and just been an incredible ambassador and assistant and recruiter for Arkansas. And I think I've got 2 boys that are 20 months apart, and I think about how cool, it's probably been for how neat it's been for Bobby to see and to be here to see both of his boys. Obviously there's been, with the nature of the position, there's ups and downs. That's part of it. That's just the way that things go, the way it is anymore. But for them to be able to, what they've brought, what Bobby's brought for his 20 years of service here of this football program, his boys have brought and contributed an equal amount of that, Their timing has, by NCAA rules, have not allowed them to be here for that significant of a time as a player. But, they've grown up around it. They know more than anybody what it means to be a Razorback. And for the things that those two have done and the way they've played in games and helped us win football games, it's been phenomenal. And it's been neat to watch. And they're as good as the football players they are, they're even better young men. And I'm proud to have been a part of them being here.
What about in how they've handled themselves? It'd be so easy to fire off a late-night tweet. It seems like we haven't seen that from them, retorting to all the negativity they seem to face.
Sure. I tell them all the time, or just, I can't imagine playing quarterback anywhere anymore in this day and age, with how easy, how accessible you are, from a social media standpoint and all that. And I'm sure there's lots and lots of good, lots of fun, but there's also probably lots and lots of things that that aren't great at times for whatever reason, but you're right, they have handled that with just incredible amount of class and dignity, and I think they've been fantastic, not only quarterbacks, but just ambassadors for our university, and really proud of Austin and how he's done the last 2 years.
When you were playing, were you very accessible?
No.
In what ways could people get to you?
Well, back then?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember any. I guess looking at the school directory and doing the old dorm phones,
Your home address was
the home address was listed in the media guide, and inevitably, I remember a few messages that I got on my tape machine, whatever those were, the voicemail machine, answer machine. Yeah, that was it. But not very accessible back in those days, and it's different now, and it's just kind of the nature of the beast. But they've done a nice job with it.
Yeah. What changes have you seen in Austin from the time he got here to now?
Well, it was fun to watch him kind of step out from underneath Brandon's shadow when it was his time to take over. I mean, he kind of stood back in the wings and let Brandon do his thing. And then when it was his time to go, I mean, he really kind of emerged as a leader and a vocal leader. And so that was the biggest transition, is when Brandon left and when he took over. And he knew it was his time. And, it's been a ride the last couple of years that have had some ups and downs, but we're just proud of the way he's competed and stayed in there and carried himself and represented us. And so it'll be unique not having the Allen boys around here.